Didn't have any other ideas for how to start this stream. Hello. Good. It still counts. Good morning to anybody that's on the West Coast. Anybody else in the world, you're past. Hello, hello, hello. So y'all can thank Mr. Andreas for this one. Wasn't planning on streaming today. If I'm being honest, I'm a little bit tired. Didn't sleep so great, but I got plenty of the good stuff here. No, not drugs. It's coffee. But it's the best stuff. So we're gonna try to build another one. Oh, I should probably change the title. I forgot about this whole streaming business. So I'm gonna create a new level concept. We're gonna change that there. So I'm gonna create a new level concept today, or at least start on it. I don't expect I'm actually gonna be able to do it. If you haven't seen these before, understand that this is not my old content, right? This isn't VR related. This is as far removed from virtual reality as you can get on a computer. Okay, it is a 2D physics game. Kind of more horse racing than it is a thing. However, I am now adding more and more controls and other fun things for you to do to interact with it. I recently got affiliate on the account, so I can't actually show the stream on this channel anymore. I didn't realize that was a thing until 24 hours passed, so that's kind of disappointing because I can't just go over there. But I'm going to put in chat real quick. If y'all want to see what I'm talking about, and to be fair, I'm probably going to glance over there from time to time and probably comment on things. So it's not a terrible idea if you at least like understand the context of it. Here. 1 second, let me put a link in chat. There's that. I'll pin that message. If y'all are interested in seeing what I'm, this weird project that I've started is, then you can go check it out over there. This one is going to be more in line with one of my old derpy dev streams of sorts. But yeah, I'm happy to get distracted in whatever by chat as often as y'all want me to be. So Mac, hello. Mac has been hanging out with me and Corey. Who else is in here? Yeah, pretty much just Mac and Corey. They've been pretty much. I think. I mean, I know Corey is. I think he's been with me more than anybody else over on that game. However, Mac is there. He's probably close to number 2. Stuak, another one that's there quite regularly. But not he seems to have some weird priorities unrelated to watching my marbles bounce around. I almost had something bad. So anyway, Simonas, it's been a while. Hello. Wait, were you in any of the other previous? No, I don't think I saw you in the last dev streams. It's early if I forgot that you were there. I'm sorry. I know that I haven't seen you in my little marble game. But hi, good to see you again. I dropped a mod link to my stream. Oh, my bad. Let's see. Thank you for calling that out. Oh, I don't want multiple versions of the stream open. Here, remove. How about that? Thank you for calling that out, Corey. Cool. Okay. So I'm in an awkward situation where I can't actually show that stream over here, but that's not that big of a deal because most of what I'm doing today is going to be on creating a new level. But if you don't want to go over to Twitch, I understand. No big deal. Let me show you a quick rundown of how this thing works. So it is an interactive... Oh, I'm not streaming this one. Yes, that one. It is an interactive application that syncs up with Twitch chat. and it also integrates with some other tools that tie in closely with Twitch. So it's a bunch of marbles that bounce around on the screen and do other physical things. This particular game that's on right now is an infection game mode, so somebody was unlucky to hit it first, and then you'll see as soon as they start, boop, there it goes, and now after a few seconds he becomes contagious, and boop, there it goes, and now you'll see it starts getting out of control, typically much faster than this. There we go. Now it's going to start spreading much faster. Yeah, I figured this was a fairly topical game mode to make with the current situations. So anyway, I feel a little bit bad about that. But it's fairly short-lived. I need to do some work on this to make it last a little bit longer. I have some ideas on that, but we'll see. So yeah, so that's that. Here, let's play one more, or let one more go through. That way you can see what the other game modes are like. The more of the races, because what I'm building today will be more like one of these. Let's see. And you'll notice a bunch of random dots and stuff, and then some other gray marbles. I'm kind of cheating right now. I'm filling in a bunch of players from a database, and then if I don't have enough people in the database, then they're just the gray dots. And they're all fairly low opacity right now. That's because they're all ghost players. But anyway, so here you get the idea. You have a marble, which you can see mine down here. I have a few different attachments on. So in the game, you earn points by winning, as well as just kind of watching the stream, and you can use those points for equipping cosmetics that are in the game. Most of them created by my daughter. Which, hold on, let me show y'all this, because my God, let me make sure it's actually okay. Check this out. Let me zoom in. Look at what my daughter made. I'm so happy. So this is all her original art. Yeah. Yeah. She made me some Sasquatch feet. I got some pretty hairy feet. She did that for me. Very, very happy about that. We got some photon sabers, some magic wands, and more is coming. So anyway, so these are the different things you can buy, and there are different slots that you can equip different things into to make your ball more distinct. Because right now it's just kind of a big mess. However, it's pretty easy for me to spot my little dude because I forgot that I have the space buns on my head right now. Simona's first Marble dev stream I caught usually seems to run way in the middle of the night for me. That's fair. I've been starting it much later. Today's a Sunday, and I have some stuff to do later on, so I figured I'd go ahead and start this one off a little bit earlier today. Well, good to see you no matter what. Sorry, our schedules have not lined up. 1 second. Okay, so now you'll have an idea of what this is. So now what am I going to do differently? So if you look at the past dev stream, it was just creating a level pretty similar to this one. This time I'm going to make it different. Whenever you, after a game has ended, there's going to be a chance that a bonus round happens. And that bonus round will take any of the people that placed, so anybody that made it into the top 10 or 15, or however many players are allowed in the previous level. They'll make it into this bonus round, and those game modes will be fairly different. I think for the first one, I'm going to make it to where the marbles have a chance to replicate and then also reduce. So you're going to start off with one marble, and the goal will be, I'm not quite sure yet what the actual end state will be. We'll figure that out as we go through the level design process. But you start off with one, you hit a particular thing, and suddenly you have 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. And so you're just going to replicate. And so over time, some players are going to start overwhelming the others, and then they're going to die off. So at least that's the hope. And then there will be an ultimate winner off of that. I also want to add in the ability for chat to be able to so everybody will get one free kind of prediction that they can put into chat on who's going to win. And I'll put it in chat ahead of time that says, here are your 10 contestants. Vote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And if you win, you'll get a payout. And then maybe I'll also add it to where you can wager your currency for additional perks. We'll see. I don't know. We currently have a gambling problem in our Twitch chat, Andreas. Um, so we'll see. I'm a little bit hesitant to add more gambling opportunities for people to throw all their points away. So yeah, that's the plan. So that y'all saw a full game, and oh god, this level, I get stuck in here. I never get to leave. Never ever get to leave. Oh, Stuok is one of the ones that recently just lost all of his points. Good job. I could have told you that was going to happen. You got a 50-50 chance. What do y'all? You're flipping a coin. If you flip it 5 times, the chances of you winning every single time are so low. Stop it. Just take gamble all away. Yeah, I just need to just give y'all some self control, just a little bit. Come on. As long as y'all are having fun, I guess that's all that matters. Get your gambling addiction satiated through the game, and don't take your real life money and gamble it that way. Okay, if this helps feed that addiction, or at least I'm sorry, not feed it, but if it helps yeah, satiate that addiction, then I guess I'm doing a service. Oi, oi, oi. Okay, so first off, this now we're getting into the dev elements of this. There are a few pieces that I know I'm going to have to tackle, which is whenever I started this, I wasn't thinking about the possibility of a marble being a distinct object from the play. Well, okay, hold on. Let me break this down. So whenever you type anything into chat, or if you join the game, it pulls data from the database. It goes and it queries Twitch, and it preserves in memory a player data object that has your stats, it has your inventory and stuff like that, right? So that's a class. That's an object that just lives over here. And then whenever it is time to join a game, I have a system that goes through and it says, hey, here's this game that started. I need at least 30 people, or I can have as many as this many people. So then it asks my player cache, hey, give me 60 people. And then it goes and it pulls in anybody that's loaded in. It throws them into the queue. And if it needs to, it synthesizes bot players and throws those into the queue as well. All right. Whenever your game is over, your little player object, it just persists in memory in the back end. And then after time, I have what's called a least recently used cache. So those objects then go away. Right. So I have I think good encapsulation of the player data object itself. The issue I have here though is whenever you start into a new game after you've joined the queue, you are attached to a reusable player entry, and that's your actual physical marble. So that's reused game after game after game, and then just a different soul is shoved into a marble, and that's what shows the picture. It loads the inventory and stuff like that. But I reuse it repeatedly to avoid garbage collection. If you're not familiar with programming terms, whenever you create a thing, and then you destroy the thing, specifically in, well, it's not in all languages, but like Java and C#, specifically, it has automatic garbage collection in the background. And so after you delete an object, it just kind of stays in memory until eventually a garbage collection process goes through, checks to see if it's needed anymore, and then it does the thing to get rid of it. That's computationally expensive. So for things that I don't have to destroy and recreate over and over again, I don't. Like everybody's inventory items, it starts off with here I can load this up. It starts with a prefab pool. So it's a pool of, I think for the items I just have one each. Yeah. So it starts off, or actually I give 2 each. So it creates a pool with 2 of each of the different effects. And then whenever a player comes in that needs it, it pulls an entry out of that, shows it on, and then whenever they're done with it, it just puts it back in there. So this means that it has a higher total memory consumption. However, it doesn't have any garbage collection. So in a game like this, to where I got plenty of memory, right? That's not a concern whatsoever. However, because of all the physics calculations that are in here, I want to minimize any hit on my CPU as I possibly can. So that's why I have prefab pools, where you can just reuse these objects over and over and over again. Wow. Didn't mean to really go into all that. Sorry if this is way too technical. But so going back to the issue that I have is I need to make it to where it's not a one-to-one link whenever a game is on between that player object and then the actual marble itself. I need to make it to where the game can understand that, hey, this person has 10 marbles in play, and then they're only out whenever all of those marbles go away, right? So I may make that like a systemic change. I haven't really thought through it too very much yet. Um, or I may make it a particular game mode that keeps track of that, right? That instead of well, actually, I know I'm going to have to make some pretty deep changes to this because right now, whenever a new game mode is loaded up, it says, here are all your players. Boom, load them in. And then that manages creating all those player entries. And then from there, the individual game mode logic takes over with that set of players. And so that's the part that's kind of shaky on this one. Specifically right here. Yeah. So, oh no, this. Maybe I didn't do it so. Oh no, I did do it bad. Derp. So the game orchestrator isn't even the one that spawns the player entry. So the game orchestrator, this is like I have several of these now. Some of them are for races. Some of them are for the arenas. So it's how the game flow is controlled. So here is my primary game loop right here. So how this works is the game starts up. A new game, it prepares a scene, so it goes through and it picks a random game. And so here is my game orchestrator. This scene, or this logic here, has no idea what type of game is going to be played. It doesn't matter. It just says, here's my game. Cool. Grab my players, and then prepare them. So this right here is where things are going to get a little bit sticky. So here I go from taking that player object that is all of your data. This is the soul, and then I'm acquiring the instance and I'm doing it here. So this is the primary bit that needs to be pumped down deeper. So I need to actually have this controlled by the game mode itself, not by the overall the higher up system. All right, that's issue number one. And then after that, it's just about level design. Actually, I really think that's my primary issue, because after that, cloning the objects should be fairly, that'll be trivial. I have to be a little bit concerned here about how many players I allow to be spawned. So I have to be pretty careful about this, because let's say that you have 500 marbles that are spawned with this, and every one of those marbles has like 10 attachments. That still won't be a memory concern. What am I saying? It's fine. It doesn't matter. I have so much headroom on my memory. Anyway, so let me rechat for a second. Let's see. That's why you gamble it all on arrival. It scratches the itch. Man, don't you lie to me. You do it like at the start, and then you do it like 2 minutes later, and then like 5 minutes later. Basically, anytime your points get above 1,000, you gamble all. I've seen this. I'm watching your patterns. Super interesting. Good. Cool. YouTube random recommendation that did a great job. Thomas, welcome. This is an odd stream for me, so I mean I'm not necessarily going to do the whole remember to like and subscribe, because I don't know, I might not be here for another like 6 months. It's fine. I will be over on the MarblePhysics channel. I'm doing that almost daily. Actually, for the past like week and a half, I've done it every single day. But in terms of this, I don't know. It's whatever. Y'all can thank Andreas. I'm only here because he told me to be here. Cool. Let's see. What else? Wait. Andreas, even then, when you're instantiating, you're reusing the same data. Yeah. Well, so I'll be reusing the same data up to, but the problem is that if I have like 500 instances of the same player, and each of them has a pair of wings and a hat or whatever, then my prefab pool jumps from like 3 or 4 of the same object to 500 of a small set of objects. But again, it's not a big deal because these are, I can have thousands of those and it wouldn't be an issue. So not a big deal. Grandmaster UV, don't think anything of the stream. We chillin'. Excellent. Let's do it then. Okay, so where to start first? Do I want to start with the game design, or do I want to break out? I probably want to do this part first because I need to make sure that I don't break existing games. So it's kind of crucial, and this is a pivotal piece of it. So what I need to do, and this might be pretty easy, is I need to move my prepare players method. Actually, is that all I need to do? Do I just really just need to move this into the game orchestrator and allow them to override it? That might work. Simona's rendering overhead. So in terms of whenever they get deactivated, there's no rendering overhead. The game objects are just stored in memory, but it doesn't hit the GPU at all. Time will tell if or how the game handles 1,000 objects that have bloom. Okay, 1,000. I know I can't do that. So the Unity physics engine starts breaking down a little bit whenever you have I start getting concerned if there's 300 objects in a small proximity. All right, if they're spread out, it does a much better job of optimizing the physics collisions to where it's not quite so crazy. However, if you have like a stack of like 50 people high and they're all colliding with each other, and it has to calculate all those interactions in the same frame, that gets pretty dicey. So I can make it to where there's a lot spread out, but I have to be careful of making sure that they can't get too clumped. That's my main issue. In terms of the rendering, I really don't think I'm going to have an issue. Honestly, with the graphics that it's at right now, I can run this game on pretty much anything above like integrated graphics, right? Like if you give me a GTX, what was the first GTX? I don't remember. Anyway, I've run this on every computer I have. I have the lowest I've done is a 970. And it doesn't even touch, like it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Yeah, whenever I have 10K clones, yeah, that's a problem. I have to make sure that that doesn't happen. So that will be a responsibility primarily of the level design itself to make it to where if it ever starts getting that many of them, I just need to have a proper balance of destroying dots and making more dots. Dots. I'm still going to advocate for compute shaders. Yeah, I need to look into that at some point. I really do. But I don't know, man. Like from what I understand, that seems like it would be a pretty significant undertaking. Okay, so first off, let's see. Does this make sense for me to just put into the game orchestrator? So there's no reason why this is here. The only thing it does is it takes in a list of players. It's already received. Oh no! So in one fell swoop, get players pulls all of the players. All right, so that's all that matters there. That's just going to be a set of all the players that are going to be in the game. I only call this afterwards because at one point I figured that I was going to have like lobbies per game. So players could be added in for 30 seconds before the game starts. I've moved away from that. Instead, I'm going to have just kind of like generic lobbies, and then players can pop in there, and then they'll get loaded into the game in one massive chunk. So this isn't an issue. So instead of having this method that says all players added, I'm just going to say add players, move this method. Yeah, this is easy. All right, so let's get rid of you. Pre-game's still going to be important. Actually, hold on now. Hold on. Not quite like that. Not quite. So instead, I need to get my list of players up here. Right? Yeah, actually, I'm going to keep this in a separate. No, I'm not. No, I'm going to leave it here. So, oh god, and I want to get rid of these coroutines. So this entire system is a horrible mess between async methods and then also Unity's coroutines. At some point, I need to go through here and clean this up. It's kind of a mess. So prepare players is not going to be necessary. Here I have a list of all the players. Right. So here are all the player data objects, and that's it. Then I just need to pass in a list of those players to the main method. This is not going to be so bad. I was worried this was going to be some big deal. It's really not. This is going to be easy. Easy, I say. Where was I? Players. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, so how do I want to inject this in there? I'll probably just use this method. Yeah, we're just gonna wholesale rename this. Initial players, all active play. Yeah, this isn't good anymore. Okay, I need to refactor this a bit. So, or do I? Maybe not. Yeah, I do. Because this is baking the assumption into the base game that at this point the player entry exists, and I don't want that. What I want to do is change this to be a player and then have it be responsible. Oh, this is actually going to be a little bit of a... I make a lot of assumptions in a lot of places that I can grab a list of all active player entries. This is actually going to be a chore. This was bad designing. That was terrible. Any ways to merge multiple objects into one, like all the attachments, marble profile icon into a single prefab to have a single object per marble rather than managing several objects per marble. Are you talking about basically synthesizing a sprite that would encompass the whole marble, including all of its attachments? I don't... hold on. I see. Yeah, okay, so there's two issues with that. One is some of the attachments move, and more will move over time, so that couldn't be put into a single... you're saying prefab. I think you're meaning a single image, probably, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, so the moving object keeps that from being realistic, but also due to the way that Unity handles its render calls, those additional sprites get handled in one pass. So I don't think that would. Maybe okay. So for each different. Oh wait, no, and I'm using I'm using 4 different sprite sheets for each of my items. So no, I don't think there would be too many gains there. There may be some optimizations I could do. However, yeah, maybe. However, then I'd have to worry because as soon as I start creating individual sprites, like sprite packs for all of them, actually, I guess it doesn't matter because I already have individual sprites for each player because I'm already loading in their profile image. Yeah, it's possible. That actually might be a reasonable way of reducing some of it. But that's really, again, I don't really have any real performance issues on the GPU side, right? So there would be some potential gains on that, but I can throw whatever I want at it, right? This is 2D. The amount of stuff on the screen is so very inconsequential. Like it's not having to do any sort of complicated math to render any of this stuff. So yeah, I'm really not concerned about how the GPU is impacted on this. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so Unity Prefab, it's really just a serialized collection of objects. So you're able to define a collection of objects, and it references all those. Well, anyway, don't need to go into all that. But it's just a collection of objects that I can then instantiate, which goes through and why am I still playing this? it goes and instantiates all of them kind of in bulk. So they may do some optimizations on the back end on instantiating prefab groups, but I don't know. Okay. Physics is absolutely the bottleneck. Yeah, hands down. It's not even close. Memory is great. GPU is not an issue. It's just the physics engine itself. How to get rid of this? Okay, hold on. Does it matter? Do I make any assumptions that all active players are made up of distinct players? Because I can have 30 copies of the same player in here. That's not an issue. This is a hash set. It's making sure that there's only one copy of each object in there. However, that's for the memory reference of that particular instance of a player entry. I'm not doing anything funky with overriding my equality operators there. So I don't think I'm actually using anything. There may be some ways in how I calculate payouts that assumes uniqueness that I might have to collapse that list afterwards, but that's fine. Okay, maybe this isn't that big of a deal. This right here, wait, am I even using this? Oh, yeah, I am. Yeah, okay, this is not great. Because this assumes one. Force push. Oh, that's interesting. So I just added this yesterday, or day before yesterday. It's a command that you can use in chat to push objects away from you. That seems like it could be like pay to win, but it's really not. It's amusing at best. Although in actual practice, it's just kind of underwhelming. So I don't know. But anyway, so this command would be a maybe I'll just let you do it to all of them. But if I return a list from this command or from this method, how? Yeah, I need to have a way of. Maybe it just won't work on some games. Yeah. Here, let me take a note of this. Because I think that's going to be an issue. I need to bake into my command management system the concept of a block list. So, yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. Or maybe make this a little bit more generic. Have this return a list. If the list contains more than one entry, then that's actually, yeah. If it contains more than one entry, then just block it. Yeah. That way I don't have to maintain and keep track of a list of game modes that aren't allowed, and then forget to add one later on, and then things blow up. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I can make this return a list, and if it's more than one, get rid of it. Actually, let's just do that now. Wait, hold on. Before I do that, let's see. Is there anything else that uses that? Okay, so I need to set that to be a dictionary of the ID to a hash set. Why am I doing it like this? Oh, never mind. That's important. Why are you there? Okay. I think the rest of that is actually fine. Yeah. Okay. I think that's my main concern. I'm okay if there's multiple objects in this. scan through this. I don't, and I can treat these as they come up. Yeah, like this right here. Yeah, this won't be compatible. So I have a last standing win condition. So this is how I keep track of any game modes where people die. And this is checking initial player count versus current player count based off of the player entries. So I need to switch this over to where it's tracking a list of active and alive players, not player entries. Okay, you know what? Let's just break everything and see what happens. So most of the commands that I'm using here, or most of the times that I'm calling this, I think it's okay to actually just use the player object itself. Because it's really just keeping track of who's alive, who's not. There's very few actual interactions I need with the player entry itself, meaning, you know, the marble. Oh, this is important. Marbles. Okay, so I have a set of free-form dictionaries that allow individual game modes to save distinct data. And I did that by just creating a string to value, or a set of string to value dictionaries for like your standard data type, so int, float, string, whatever. And that's stored on the player entry. However, it's going to be important that that's stored at the player object itself. I think I need a layer of abstraction between the marble, the player, between those two things. So I'm thinking I need to have the player data object itself. I need to have the game representation of that player, and then that can manage and understand how many different actual marbles are in play. Yeah. So maybe that's the thing. And then whenever you mark a player out, like whenever a game says, hey, this marble is out, it can just bubble that up to its container object. And then that container object can decide, hey, I only have one marble, and that marble's out, so now I'm out. So then that will be responsible for calling up the chain and actually reporting to the game orchestrator. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big refactoring. All right, so this is not what I was thinking it was going to be a little bit of work. I didn't think it was going to be this much heavy refactoring. Maybe this isn't the best thing to do on stream, because this is going to be a lot of pretty boring gutting and replacing. Unless I can think of a better and simpler way. Yeah. Yeah, I have to find some way of divorcing this concept of the one-to-one relationship. But unfortunately, many other games rely on it. God, every now and again as a developer, you're like, I'm kind of stupid. Map it out on paper. Man, I got everything up here. I'm a great developer. I just commented about how stupid I was. Crap, I guess that doesn't really work out, does it? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's diagram this. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with draw.io. Oh, that's fun. It has an electrical diagram in there that I was using for this past year. I made a book nook for my wife. It's a little miniature diorama thing. It had a bunch of stuff in it, electronic components. Okay, so I really probably should have done this from the start. Honestly, I've just been this entire project has been like, I want to do this thing, and I'm not really going through the typical design process that I do with any sort of professional program that I write, because I'm just having fun. I'm not really worried about. I wasn't ever really worried about the end goal of this. It was just, this is yet another little project that I'm going to pick up and I'm going to get bored with. So might as well just not worry about the nitty gritty, and then once I get bored, I'll get bored. But it's turned out to be something a little bit more. Something I want to keep going with, right? So, all right, so let's start with this, right? So we have the game manager. We'll call this the, we'll just call this the game loop, all right? So this right here is responsible for the life cycle of the overall application. All right, and let me describe how things, let's do, yeah, actually, let's just go ahead and use the same verbiage I use up here, so, or ish. Yeah, so we prepare the seam. Right, then we go through, we grab the players. And then we fade it in. And I just added that. Yep. And then we start the game. Actually, let's just call this application loop. Right? Because it's really like here we have the game loop, or game process. I don't know. All right, this is definitely the largest bit. And then after that, we just have a victory screen. And then we clean up. In this cleanup process, I go through and I force a garbage collection process. I tell Unity to clean up and remove all of its unused variables and stuff. Hey, buddy. Right, so here's the current overall flow. And the problematic issues that we have right now is that I create a bunch of entries here and I force them into the game. Here, Alright, so here's my main issue at the moment. But then we also have the individual games that call in, and how do I want to diagram this? Because it's so variable. I guess I should probably just pick one game. But ultimately, this has all right, actually let's break this down a little bit more. What are you doing?
Trying to get Charlotte to get away from my computer.
Oh.
She was laying right on top of it whenever I came over.
As she do.
Come on, kitty. Here.
Okay, I'm not going to actually continue doing what I'm doing right now because that's not very fruitful. What I am going to do is change it to how I want this to be, and we can talk through it as we go. Yeah, so the get active players, that's pretty much the only thing that gets shoved into this game process. And then it just returns, you know, once the game ends. Okay, if we're being fair, or if we're being fully... Ooh, whoa, whoa, what was that? What? Come on. There we go. There we go. So it gets a list of players. It's going to pass those in. Yeah, I really do think I like the idea of having one more layer in between player and physical marble. Because that physical marble, it doesn't need individual stats. Hold on, let me think through that. Could there be a game mode where I want the marble itself to track stats? No, not really. Anything I do there, I could put into the overall object for aggregation anyway, and I could even have it be a dictionary of data per marble, but that's not really likely going to happen. No, that's not true. I could see individual use cases for that, but that's going to be a very unique thing, and that's going to be controlled by a component that's on it. Meaning, like potentially there could be a game where each individual marble has like health, right? Actually, that's going to be a very common thing. It's not always just all or nothing in terms of death. Like I have an arena game mode where you actually have a hit point pool, and that gets subtracted from. Right. If y'all have never tried thinking through a complicated programming solution on stream, you should try it sometime. It's daunting, to say the least. Yeah, that's per marble, not per player. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of other game data like kill count and stuff, which affects the overall game stats. That is probably per player. Maybe there's a game mode to where whoever has the marble, a distinct marble with the most kills win. I don't know. There could be some methods for that, but this is not a make or break decision. I can have data on both sides, so that's not an issue. So let's do this. Let's describe the player. And Simonos, you've had the opportunity to think of solutions for complicated problems, real time talking through your thoughts in isolation, or with maybe other developers and you're kind of brainstorming, right? Or are you sitting in front of, like, basically this is sitting in front of a group of developers in a conference room up on stage, and then you're told, hey, design this, and then you have to sit there in the podium and whiteboard. It's basically like an interview with a group watching. Okay, so we have a player data. This is a very important object. Here, actually, we're gonna call this. We're gonna put this inside of a. There we go. Right. So this is you. This is your data. And this object, by the way, is typically for like a database entry or a database itself. That's if you're not familiar with these symbols. And then you're going to have, I'm going to call it player entry for now just because, actually it might even make more sense with this, but anyway, so this is the physical marble, or no, it's not going to be the physical marble. This is going to be your in-game data. All right, so this will have, nope, not you. So this will know, here, let's just group them. Actually, that's not right. It's going to be contained within this. Honestly, a sequence diagram might make more sense for a bunch of this stuff. But initialize is going to create a bunch of these. Here, let's group this guy. It's going to create the player entry. It's going to shove the data into it, and that's going to leave it there. So whenever it initializes, at first it's not going to have any marbles at all. Wait a minute. Hold on. How much is this player entry actually physical? No, it's actually quite a lot. No, this is absolutely the marble. So I need to rename this to marble. Or at least extract it out. Yeah, that's almost exclusively physical marble stuff, apart from just the game data. Fred! Hello! How is Finland? End goal would be to completely separate the player data from the marble data. Mostly, yeah, absolutely. So it already is the player data. Whenever I load in, here I can pull it up. Whenever I attach a player, where am I? Set player data, right? So this marble, it takes in a player object. It does store a reference to it just because I need to be able to get that player entry back out of it whenever something happens to that marble. But here, this is the method. Right, it just loads in the images and stuff, and it sets the inventory up. But apart from that, this is all just temporary state. It has nothing to do with the player itself. So these marbles really will ultimately be what player entry is right now. So I really might just end up just copying all the data out of player entry and put it into Marble. So as far as the game process and even the initialized state goes, or the base orchestrator, that will just have a list of player entries, and it won't know that they even have marbles. And in fact, marble could be something else at some point. It could be a cube, or it could be something else. Not likely. It'll probably just be marbles. But this would give me the flexibility to make it to where what's underneath there could be something other than a marble. The game orchestrator base shouldn't need to know that. That should be the individual game logic. And all it needs to know about is, what's your score? Are you alive? Stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. So instead of... Yeah, so I think we're going to... Oops. That's weird. There we go. Actually, we're just going to call this marble. Like, screw that. So the marble itself is going to be what player entry currently is. And then player entry is just going to be the thing that lists this. And if at any time, and marble will only have a reference back to its player entry. Yeah, so the marble itself will just be a thing that has an image, some individual game state not specific to the player, a reference back up to the player entry for whenever it dies or whatever. It will only ever communicate with its parent. Those lines don't help. And then, yeah, this will spawn a bunch of these guys. It will maintain a list of these guys, and then whenever they're all dead, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm good with this. I'm good. And this might actually make it to where it's not quite as big of a change. Because as far as most of the games are concerned, there's only ever going to be one marble. Oh yeah, no, this is great. So as far as the games are concerned, there's only going to be one marble. The only issue... No, it's okay. I'm going to rename the player entry class to player marble, or to just marble. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of the easiest path of refactoring here now. So, because there's a lot of things that depend on the player entry right now, like for applying force and gravity and all that. Whenever a player enters a zone, it checks to see if the entering object has a player entry component onto it, which is just checking a here, let me, if you're not familiar with Unity, this won't make sense. So Unity game objects are a collection of different components. Each of these are a different class with whatever logic they want. Each of those has its own individual game loop in it. So whenever the game, or whenever that object is spawned, it has awake, on enable, and then there's a couple different update loops. So there is that's going to take too long to go into, but there's several different update loops. The one I'm primarily concerned with is the fixed update loop, which is the physics calculation loop. And then after that, there's on disable and then on destroy, right? So each of these components has its own life cycle. Like if I turn this thing off and on, Unity calls its on enable and then on disable method. Anyway, so this is what a game object is. It's made up of a physical component, which is the transform itself, that every single game object has this thing, and then I can add individual components onto it. So looking at like my player component or my player game object, this is very much the root of the marble, to where it has a rigid body which is responsible for all the collision's actual behavior or all the physics behavior. It has a collider, and then I have a health pool on each of them. Most games don't actually make use of that though. Honestly, that probably shouldn't be there natively. I should probably make the games that need it add it, but anyway. And then underneath that, I have all of the things that allow for the inventory to work, things that allow rotation with the objects, things that stop rotation, and then let's see. Okay. Anyway, so that's what a game object is. What was I going with that? I don't remember how I got onto that sidetrack. Do you want to go with marbles, or would you go with something more abstract like shapes? Probably. Let's do. Yeah, you're right. Shapes. Yeah, let's do. Shapes is a little bit like if I'm going to go generic, which I agree with you. I think that's probably the right course. I could see a potential game mode where shapes isn't even the right word. There is technically nothing stopping me from having a game mode that's in 3D with human avatars that are running around shooting each other. Not saying that I'm going to be doing that, but you know that is a thing that could happen. Sorry, I looked over at the game mode. If y'all haven't seen it, I'm going to remind you again. Click on the link that's currently pinned in chat for the MarblePhysics game. There's currently an arena going on, and I had a pretty good collection of items on. I thought I was going to do well, but no. Anyway, sorry. Let's call this. You just call it entity, because that's really entity is not the right word. Physical manifestation. I hate naming stuff, y'all. If you have not worked with code long, you can't understand how much time is spent naming something, because names have power, right? If you name something too specific, it makes it really hard for you to add other things in it. And if you name it too generic, then you have the tendency of throwing crap in there that doesn't belong, right? So names are important. It's so hard. Y'all don't have any idea how much time I've spent struggling over the name of something. Oh, yeah. Sorry, looking over at the other stream again for a few minutes, or for a second. Simonos gets it. It's too hard. I'm not good enough for this job. Ah. Okay. What is this? I'm here. This is how I typically resolve this. I'm gonna look up a synonym for the word entity. Let's see if anything jogs. Creature, being, item, organism, presence, quantities. No. Thing. I do like thing. Thing is good. Actor. That's not bad. That wasn't on this list of synonyms, but that's not a terrible word for this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm half tempted to just stay with marble. Because then I can have just marble be a generic concept. I can have a square marble. Who's to say you can't have a square marble? What is the definition of marble? It's probably a sphere, isn't it? No, wait. Marble is also just like a rock. Yeah, no. I'm grasping at straws here. I know. A small ball of colored glass or similar material used as a toy. One's mental faculties. Wow. Really? You go from lost... That's not... How do you take a definition from that? From somebody losing their marbles? That's a colloquialism. How are you going to make that a definition of the word? That's really weird. Actually, is that colloquialism? I don't know. Who knows? English is stupid. Okay. Yeah, you did this. You did this, Simona. You should feel bad. I was going to be completely fine calling this marbles, right? Just blissfully going along with this and not giving it a second thought until a year from now. Then I'm like, dadgummit, but I want it to be a square. I'm gonna go with marble. I may regret this decision. I'm gonna go with marble because I don't like actor for this. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. It's happening. You can't stop me. I am losing my marbles. Wow, that is so appropriate. I cannot believe I just called that out and I didn't even think about it. Yeah, you're right. Problems like this, not only does it make me feel crazy, but I imagine from y'all's perspective, I must be nuts. Why am I focusing so long on this stupid word? But no, yeah, you're right. I've lost my marbles. I'm gonna stick with marble. Thanks, Simonas. No, really, thank you. That was a good call out. I'm just choosing. I am willfully choosing a bad thing. I'm doing it. Agent. Oh, I do like agent. Proxy synonyms. That's a good idea too. Let's take a couple. Surrogate. Not bad. Not bad. I like that one. I don't like any of the other. Agent isn't bad. Agent. Am I going to use that for anything else? No, that's fine. Let's just do it. And I expect agent is nav mesh agent. Okay. I was worried that agent was going to be a yeah. Let's just do it. Do I want to add a player prefix to it? Probably don't care. Yeah, I care because there could be other agents. I don't want to make just take the root agent word for this. Okay, so we're going to call this player agent. That's it. That's it. Y'all shut up about it. Get off my back, okay? Get off of my back. This is what's happening, whether you like it or not. Stop it. All right. Wow, this is not that went downhill fast. Ah! Why are you Oh, I grouped everything. No, OCD. What? Why did you do this? Oh, well. Ah, God! We're just gonna have 3. I only want 3. It's how many I wanted this whole time. Why do I care? There we go. There. Everything's great. Oh, why are you shrinking the whole dadgum thing? Ungroup! Ungroup! Ungroup. There it goes. There we go. God. Yeah. Okay. So back to what it was a second ago. What is the easiest refactoring path for this? So player entry is referenced all over the place. Most of the physical interactions are pretty limited in terms of what it needs to actually call. So there's a few methods: teleport, apply force, set gravity, things like that. So those are the only ones that actually calls into the player entry. Yeah, okay. I think, yeah, I'm just going to move this code instead of renaming this class because, okay, so if you're not familiar, if I rename this class, the IDE, the program that I'm using here, will do incredibly helpful things most of the time, which is going to go through and update all the references. Anything that calls player entry, it would use then player agent, instead. And I don't think I want that. I think the easiest refactoring job I'll have is to keep player entry as the thing that the orchestrator is. Actually, you know what? Now that I say that, I'm just going to revert all of this stuff because it's actually fine the way it is right now, since I'm going to be just passing in a container of agents instead of having the thing that's passed in being the agent itself. So let's revert all this stuff. We're back. I thought I checked it all. Undo all the things. Wait, what happened in inventory? Oh, hey, don't undo that one. That was a bug that I fixed. Nope. Let's just make sure I didn't have any other changes. Yep, need that one too. Yep. Let's not roll back. I need this. I need it. Okay, so dadgummit. Yeah. Yep, keep that. Yep. What are you? Yep, that's fine. Game Orchestrator. Yep. Undo this class probably entirely. I'll keep that. That's a good fix. Yeah, I don't think I want any change to the gravity field. Why? I didn't touch you. Yep, that's a good change too. Okay, so let me actually commit these real quick. I had a bug that I almost pushed out to the main server, or to the game server. I call it a game server. It's a laptop sitting over here that I'm just like reach over and press play. Pretentious prick calling it a game server. Let's see. Let's make sure I didn't break anything. Okay. If it were going to break, it would have already broken. Woot. I love watching this thing. This is not my favorite level, but I love watching this. Like, it's just mesmerizing. Oh, hey, I got out. Look, here, actually, I'm just going to take a quick second. Look, there I am. Isn't it pretty? I have angelic wings, Sasquatch feet, and then space buns on. Which, if you don't know what space buns are, it's like balls on the top. Like girls do this with their hair on the top of their head. It's like bound up. Yeah, apparently that's just a thing that they call them space balls. I didn't even know, or space buns. Sorry, that's wrong thing. No, I got teleported back. Okay. User, thank you. Yeah. So I do use Plant UML, but Draw.io is a little bit more user friendly most of the time. Fred, you should make a lottery game. This is kind of that. What do you mean by lottery game outside of what's already in play here, right? Like it's pretty much just a very, very complicated version of like a lottery selection system. All right, very, very complicated. But what did you have in mind? It's because Princess Leia. So Princess Leia, she had like croissants on the side of her head or something. I don't know what you call them. Cinnamon rolls. She had those on the side of her head. Like the space buns, they seem different. Like they're higher up, and like they droop down. Basically, like a very ornate pigtail system. I don't know. I have no idea. My daughter is one that told me. She was like, "Hey," and then she like showed me all the stuff that she drew. Like, and these are called space buns. I'm like, you made this up. You're joking with your daddy. Turns out it's real. Anyway, I should fix this at some point. It deletes an object and it's like, I want to do stuff still, but I'm dead. Okay, so that's fine. So let me come with these changes. What was the issue here? Oh, Fred, yes, that's actually one of the aspects of what I hope to do at the end of this change. It is because like if there's 300 marbles on a game, betting on who wins is kinda. I mean, your odds are really really low, right? So yeah, I'll probably add that at some point, maybe as part of this. Maybe I won't be specific on what games you're able to wager on who wins. Maybe I'll do it. But what I'm going to be doing is making it to where instead of there's 300 players in a particular game, there's only going to be a very small amount, like 10 of them. And so whenever these games happen, it will start a lottery system, I guess, to where it puts in chat where people can vote on who they think they're going to win. So even if they're not participating in the game itself, they still are able to put a claim on who they think is going to win. So that's actually one of the goals in this. So, I like it. Right then. So now let's go ahead and create my actor. God, this is such a mess. As somebody who used to work in Java, the Unity convention for like package management is kind of atrocious, and I've gotten lazy. Let's go with this. And we're going to take my player entry class. Whoa, why are you frozen? We're just going to take all the stuff. We're just going to take it all. I'm going to get rid of some of it, but this will be the easiest thing. Game state is still going to be... Oh, wait. Game state is going to be kind of both. No, it's going to be only on the root object. These things will be able to be paused, but they won't have a typical game state. They'll have sprite, they will have trail, they'll have a name field, health pool, yep. They'll have inventory. They will not have this. They will have a reference to the player entry. Is there going to be an outside reference to it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it needs to be. Andreas! Alright, man. Tell her I said hi. No, that'd be kind of weird. But tell her anyway. That's fine. Yep, important. Yep. Nope. Actually, no, the game state is important for this one. Yeah, we're going to keep that here for now. Let's see. This song is terrible. Too repetitive. Is the music even coming through? Yeah, it's probably fairly quiet for y'all though, right? Oops, that should have been on. Yes, yes. Yeah, I really don't like this whole is frozen. Oh, good. I forgot. I got rid of that. You can go away. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change. Oh, this is gonna be such a big change. Yeah. So this init it is currently taking a player entry. I use that. Okay, no, I need this to be a player actor. Oops. This is going to be a massive refactoring. I forgot. Wait, what? Am I even using this in this class? Why do I... Interesting. Huh. Okay, I don't really care. I'll deal with that later on. That doesn't need to be passed in the way it currently is. Although, honestly, I should have... Yeah, like this right here should probably be managed by the inventory item, but whatever. Okay, so... Inventory container, init this. Okay, that's fine. I will be adding this method onto it. Detach actor. Oh, that sucks. The way my zones work right now, they're... Oh, this is going to be huge. Huge. This is okay, though. So as far as the zones are concerned, they only care about the marbles that are in play. The individual game, like where this is being used, it will only care about the marbles, or it will be able to handle the marbles however it feels necessary. And it will be responsible for, I guess, deduping. There we sorry. I just realized I didn't have the stream up. Like it's over there, but it's enough out of my vision. I'm still a little bit nervous that it's not stable. It's only had one crash, two crashes, maybe two crashes since I started this a week and a half ago. Um, so it's remarkably stable considering how slapped together it all is, but still, I want to make sure I keep an eye on it for now. All right. Ooh, boy, oh boy, this is going to be a big task. Oh, that's not right. Okay, so as of right now, this is only used for the payouts. So this is where the individual game modes should be responsible for deduping. Oh, this is gonna suck. God, I really wish I had thought this through at the beginning. Yeah. I'm reconsidering my entire approach here just out of laziness. There is not there is not a small amount of risk with this change, and I'm a little bit hesitant to take that on right now. Let me think if is there a compromise to this wholesale change? Fred, why am I doing this change? So the game mode that I want to introduce introduces a new concept where a player can have multiple marbles in the game at one time. And right now the system doesn't really support that. So I'm having to break a lot of things to... Oop, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm having to break a lot of things in order to build a system that would support that better longer term. The deeper I get into this, the more I realize that it's bigger than even what I thought, which I already knew it was going to be a big deal. But is this too heavy-handed? So what I have to be careful whenever I'm thinking down these thoughts. Like I have to make sure that I'm not just going to talk myself out of the right thing to do. I have to make sure that whatever I decide on this one is going to be something I'm going to be happy with for a while yet. Because if I'm going to be doing any refactoring, I should make sure it's the right thing to do. So this concept here is good. I'm okay with it. But is there other good that would get me by in the meantime? So let's, oops. And Simonas, if you're still here, feel free to call me dumb if you think that this is a bad idea. So what I'm thinking through right now is my game orchestrator class. It's currently taking all the players and adding them through. What if I don't care here about how many player entries exist? Like in my main orchestrator, what if I again going through where I pass in player objects instead of player entries, right? So and again these are the marbles themselves. What if instead I pass in the player object, and at its core, it's going to go through and it's going to create a bunch of these things. And this is kind of me going back to what I was thinking initially. And then I create like my new game mode is going to be a new orchestrator that it has all the logic for how to handle the multiplayer thing. And it can spawn as many as it needs to. And then just the only thing that really matters is, hold on, am I really overthinking this? The only times that it matters if there are multiple marbles in a scene for one player is whenever that marble dies. Like for the victory conditions, right? Like that's the only thing that really matters. All active players, that's fine. Log into active player. This would have to be a list. This is the only area where that matters. All the existing game modes, they're expecting one, and that's okay. I can just set them up to where, they're only dealing with one. However, for anything that requires multiplayer, that's going to have its own orchestrator as a subtype. And that can just handle any multiplayer issues by itself. Hook, bring us the hook. If y'all haven't seen Hook, that's a great movie. Person is just quoted a line from it. I watch that every few years. I have since I was a child. I love it. Can't use some tagging for who owns the marble? Yeah, so that's already in play. The player entry knows who it is, so that's not the issue. The issue is really just in the game flow management, which mostly. There's a bit of it here that I hard coded in. What was this? What the heck are you? Player marked out. Player entry to int. Oh, sorry, that's an event. I was saying that was a dictionary. Right, that's fine. Is anything using this? Oh, yeah, you are. This is the main issue right here, is that I'm referencing the player game data at like the marble level. But again, this may not be an issue. No, it's not an issue. I just have to have a separate game mode that knows to manage it. Let's do that. All right, so I have two different options here. This other refactoring is maybe slightly better, but it also has a whole bunch of overhead that may be a bit of over-engineering. Let's revert all this. Or there's not much. I just did a few things. I think I'm overthinking this. I think I am. So let's be clear that this is all active player entries, right? So this is not just active players. This is specifically all the active marbles. This has to be a list. And let's see how much that causes me to blow up. Initial players is a bit of an issue. Because it's not as relevant. When is this used? Simona's custom understanding, simpler, less risky solution. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking with this. Less reusable. I typically don't like multiple layers of inheritance. However, this might be an acceptable use for that, to where I can have a, I don't know, multi-entry game orchestrator as something that can be inherited later on, that can understand the fact that there are multiple marbles. Like, I don't know. I don't really like that approach, but it might not be the worst. Just as a general rule, I try to follow like one layer of inheritance is really where I want to stay. Otherwise, I prefer composition almost entirely, which I may end up moving all of this player management stuff to a component to begin with, or at some point anyway. And just have it be a drop in. How do you want to manage your players? Multi or individual? But that's a little bit tougher. So. Okay, so initial player entries only make sense in the context of like keeping count of alive players. Yeah, I need to change this to where nobody, like, I'm exposing way too much internal state externally for like just use this data however you want. Like, this is really bad programming right here. Like, I should be exposing methods to say to get a list or to get the players that you need, and not just expose this hash set. It's just this is lazy development. If anybody's watching this for like tips on how to develop, this is not it. This is this entire class right here is just a case study in lazy development. I'm trying to think of the right path forward for this, not just the easiest. So that only cares about the count of initial players. This doesn't care necessarily. Yeah. Okay. So the only sort of incompatible issue that I'm seeing right now is that game data is per marble, and that's how I'm keeping track of scores. And there needs to be two separate concepts. There needs to be... Why does it need initial players? Yeah, it really doesn't. Well, okay, so here it does. So I have the concept of initial versus how many players have been killed. So active players are the ones that are still alive in the game. Whenever I'm calculating the scores for this particular arena, even if you've already died, if you killed before you died, then you still get the score for it. So there could be an arena that has, like, you start with 10 marbles, and you get the total score for all of them. Or there could be another one where you just get the score from your highest marble. So I guess initial would still be initial players. Okay, but this is, I'm going to rename this again. So this is going to be initial player entries. And if something else needs more than that, that would be in the multi. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that as is. I think that's okay. And yeah, do I show the count of how many players started? In one of the games, a couple of them I do, yeah. But again, those are, yeah. Those should probably change. Like, I should have a initial players and then initial player entries. Actually, initial player entries, that really doesn't. The only reason I'm exposing this is because that's where I store the data for the individual game. Okay, decision here. Yeah, player entry is not the right place to store overall scores. I need it to be. You don't exist anymore, right? Oh, you did exist. Yeah, you go away. Oh, I just need to delete it. Why was I trying to roll back? Go away. Do I want to have player data stored here? No, I do not. If any particular game mode needs data, it should store it itself in a dictionary of player to game data. This song is terrible. I can add up the score of marbles for one player. Yeah, so that would work. So for if there was a game that supported it, it would have to handle that. I'm just trying to, I don't know. I'm trying to compromise on how much refactoring I'm doing here. Nope. So here, 1 second. Sorry, y'all. I also have the stream going in the other, in another window. All right. And if anybody's watching from the chat, thank you all so much for greeting the new people. I notice it and I appreciate it. This game is more fun with more people. So y'all doing things to help bring people in and keep them in makes the game more fun. So I really appreciate that. I need to find some way of rewarding such behavior. I don't know. But anyway, so if you haven't already, by the way, if you're watching this afterwards, go over to twitch.tv/MarblePhysics. There should be a link in the description for that. It's streaming over there regularly. Give it a shot. It's fun. It's more fun than I thought it would be at first. Anyway, okay, so back from that commercial. Let's get back to this thing. Whenever I started streaming this, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fun, make a new level. But yeah, this turned out to be a much bigger ordeal. I probably should have done this off stream and then come back once I'm actually making the level itself. Wait, did somebody just win? Wait, what? Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, never mind. I misread. Corey called out that a new person just won an item on their first game. That would have been surprising, but it was somebody else. Sorry. Okay. Back to this. What was I doing? Right, initial players. So that's fine. I don't need unique players in this list. Honestly, I'm not using teams anywhere at all. That's just future coding that hasn't happened yet. It's fine. Actually, that's fine. Wait. Yeah, that's fine. I don't typically like returning inline, but whenever I'm dealing with these commands, there's so many different conditionals. I just sort of embrace it. Wait, that list could be empty. There we go. That should be fine. Okay. Action radar. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done the VR review stuff, hadn't it? Yeah, I do miss those days a lot, a lot. But good to see ya. Sorry that this is so very, very different. But if you're interested, there's a link in the top of chat if you want to see what I'm working on now. It's just something, a silly little project I'm doing, but it's fun. We'd like to see you over there. If it's your particular cup of tea. So You done some game dev entity yourself? Oh no. That means you're going to be able to see what I'm doing and judge me. It's bad. It's real bad, guy. um, wait. Oh yeah, there we go. Right? Am I not crazy? Right, this is the dictionary of ID to list. I make sure that there's an entry for the login. If there's not, I create a list and add it, and then I insert the player into that list, or the new marble into that list. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. That's basically the same thing. This actually should also be a hash set. Do I want this to be, you know what, do I want to get rid of the team data for now? Yeah, I really do, because this didn't actually belong here anyway. Oh, wait, it does. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Nope. I was thinking it does because it's kind of baked into a few things, but I'm just going to rip that out. This doesn't belong in the base, because not all games have teams. Yeah, this doesn't need to be here. That should be tracked as a victory condition. Yeah. Coding ASMR. You bought the Vive because of my videos? Man, those were the days. That was so much fun. Whenever VR was fresh and new, it's still fun. Don't get me wrong. But that was exciting. I wish it had continued the velocity that we were all hoping for. But it's picking up again. Like I'm optimistic. There's been a lot of good developments recently. I wish that Facebook weren't kind of driving most of it. I wish somebody that I trusted more than Facebook was really driving the innovation. But still, it's looking promising still. Yeah, you go away. Wait, what? Yeah, this is team. Yeah, that's the team list. That shouldn't be tracked there. Okay. Where are you? Wait, I already. Oh, that's right. You're a hash set now. Okay. So that didn't break nearly as much as I thought. Has it just not compiled the other breakages? I would be actually really surprised if this works. especially to the end. So assign some random winners. Oh, forgot. I still have this on 4K. Ignore the weird sizing. I do some bad math for how to position that. This entire screen is temporary and will be going away. E2S2. What is E2S2? And ATS? I'm assuming those are Sims. I can't place those. Elite Dangerous, obviously, and you should, if you haven't played Elite Dangerous, you should play it without VR first. That game is so complicated. It's got such a horrible learning curve. Play it for like 2 hours with just your monitor. Get used to the game, right? And then put on the headset, and then play it from VR from that point forward, because you're right, it is so much better in VR. But it is not a fun time learning that game. Oh, Euro Truck Simulator. I didn't realize that had VR support. Okay, so that surprisingly just worked. Okay, right then. So now we're back into the concept of making, excuse me, making the game manager not the one responsible for spawning players. This song is boring. Yeah, that's right. Does it work well? And there are issues with it. Of course there are. Does it? Are you able to take control of, your wheel and other various components, or is it, using your mouse and keyboard or a HOTAS or a wheel? There are still far too few games where you're actually controlling physical instruments with your VR controllers. Not saying that every game needs that, right? Like Elite Dangerous, a throttle and stick is the best way. But I wish that there were more games. Like, what was that one game? There was a mech game. Oh. Second. Like Ex Machina or something. Okay, it's fine. I'm on call right now from my work, so I had to make sure that my phone wasn't buzzing because I missed something. Although, to be fair, the notification whenever something goes off, y'all will hear it. But there's, always a chance that something happened on my phone. I gotta be careful. Action Radar. All right, man. Good seeing you, bud. If you do ever have time to go over and hang out with us over on the other stream, that'd be good. I stream there every day now. So it'd be good to see you. But anyway, bye-bye. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. Wait for players, prepare players. That just needs to be moved into the game. Vox Machina. That's what it was. Thank you. That was the one. I enjoyed that one quite a lot. I also enjoyed Hover Junkers. I missed that. Is this really public? Why are you? No, you're not public. So this is what I used for some bots. This actually is probably... Honestly, this shouldn't be in the game manager. I'm going to leave it here for now. I might end up pulling that out into its own separate construct because it should be independent of the game manager class itself. This should really just be the game logic, like the primary loop. But anyway, I'll leave it there for now. At some point, I want to convert away from these coroutines and actually just use full async throughout the whole project. It's just, it makes more sense with everything I'm doing. Yeah, there's no real helping it. I need to... Yep, okay. Moving that up. Going back to what I was doing at the very beginning. Because there's no easy way of returning those otherwise. Yeah, I don't like this being in line item that be extracted. I'm gonna pull this out at some point. Okay. Anyway, this is good for now. Where'd that method go? So this will be the primary method, and it can be overridden. Why is that called from the launcher? Do I need this to be there? Why don't I just init with some players in it? Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Wait, what? Oh, I assigned it there because I'm doing some hacky stuff with that one. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave them as separate things for now. I may end up rolling these in together later on, but it doesn't really matter. No need to refactor the whole thing for this. So... do I want to pass in the pool? No. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm still going to have this call. This sucks. Guys, this is probably the most boring stream ever. I'm so sorry. This is all just very mundane refactoring stuff. There's nothing inventive about anything I'm doing. This is garbage. If you're watching this and participating in the stream right now, I just did a lurk check. If you type in !join, it puts you into a raffle for some of the points. Go! Right now, there's only one person that is in it. You got some points on the line. Oh yeah, having a hard time concentrating. All right, so yeah, let's do. Kicking myself again for not doing this initially. Okay, so let's break this down into two separate things. I'm going to have a convenience method for constructing prefabs. However, I don't think that construction should happen here. Even though I can override it, I don't like that idea. So instead, I'm going to keep this here. And then I'm going to have an abstract class, or an abstract method. Actually, I already have that. I already have it for add player. So if I change that to the player itself, yeah, okay, this is it. So that will be there. I'm not going to pass in the prefab pool. Instead, this is it. So wait, what? Wow, this is weird. Oh, that's right. This was in the other. Good gosh. Yeah, I don't actually know. Sure. This isn't right. Nope, screw it. This goes in here. It's just the right thing to do. Wait, what? Oh, right. Okay. So add player was. Oh, what a mess! What a mess. Not even thinking clearly. Like I'm getting so frustrated with my performance anxiety. The problem is that this isn't even all that complicated. Here, I will be right back. I'm going to take a second, shake this off. I'm frustrated with myself now, which I've been in this state before. It's not, it doesn't help me code, so I'll be right back. Not in 10, like just a couple seconds. I'm just going to go empty my bladder and refill my drink. 1 second. All right, let's do this. So let me map out what it is that I need to do. I always need to just take a step back and actually think instead of just trying to code without actually thinking through the processes first. Okay, so what happens? Game starts, blah, blah, blah. Game picked, players pulled. All right, and then they need to be passed into the orchestrator. All right, and then that game is what's going to be responsible for taking that list of players and it needs to maybe do something, maybe do nothing with it. Doesn't really matter at that point. It just says, hey, here are your list of players. All right, great. And then from there, it has the choice of what to do with them. So game prep, spawn, spawn player entries as it sees fit. Throughout the course of the game, it may spawn more, it may delete them. Doesn't matter. It's all up to that particular game. That's an interesting point. Right now, I don't have any particular way for a player entry to be returned to its pool. I just have a release all. I'll have to add that. That's no big deal, though. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This just needs to be completely simplified. This is dumb. I made way too big of a deal over this. So wait for players. Blah 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 blah. I have my list of players here. Here's my list of players. Great. Why do I keep track of current players here? Yeah, it's completely unnecessary. All right. Pull it. I clear it. I do nothing with it. Yeah, it's not necessary at all. Thanks to the release all method that I added. I think that was my initial plan, was I was going to come through and actually, you know what? Don't need to instantiate a new object every time, so might as well. But I will do it here. Oh wait, no, I don't. It's already instantiating an object by nature of this, so I'm just reassigning it. So this doesn't matter. The compiler will optimize this for me. Great. So I have this. I need to, right now I have a game launcher and an ending. I don't want to do that. I want to do that here with the list of players. A VR game where you could be learning coding with somebody next to you, encouraging you. You know, AI is getting to the point where that might almost be possible, at least for like pointing out bugs and stuff. And even maybe recommending some optimizations. What is it? Code with me or something? I don't remember. There's some crazy stuff that's happening right now. Yeah, I have no idea how the world's going to be in another 50 years. It's going to be nuts. Assuming we don't all die. Where was I? What did I just copy? Oh yeah, I need to edit this. Make sure real quick that nothing, or that everything calls base. So we have our list of players. Now we need to... Actually, that should probably just happen in the run game. I don't need any special method for this. A convenience method for actually initializing the players is fine. For spawn player. Actually, that should... Entry... Do you have to make sure that this method is called? Yeah. I don't like this one. So this is still my primary issue. This doesn't belong here. All right, Fred. Have a good night, bud. Thanks for hanging out, man. There we go. Finally making some progress here. So now we have... Should this happen in run game? Probably not. Where is this called? Oh, right. All of these places. Okay, I do... Yeah. Yeah, here's what I'm... I want to ensure that I call back this, and there is some final setup. Yeah, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Right. Oh, yeah. Wait, I don't need to. Why am I doing that? That's dumb. No, I don't want to just override it. Let's do. Bleh. Yeah, whatever. Great. So each game will prep itself, and that will be responsible for calling prepare player as it sees fit. That will spawn things. It will add it to its internal lists. Once it's done, it's going to keep a list of all the initial players based off of whoever was prepared. Definitely going to be getting rid of that at some point. Okay. Right. Actually... I still want to simplify this, make it easier for me. I still might have... a base implementation that just spawns all the players and then adds them. Yeah, let's just do that, just to make my life simpler. And I still might make a step to move away from this later on. But let's do... And then we're going to have another one on player prepared. This will give me the flexibility while still making the base implementation, which will be the primary use case, have a reasonable default, which is just spawn each player in. Right. Simonos, sorry that your vacation's over, man. I went through that last week. It was good talking to you again. Hopefully I can see you again soon. If you're still here. If you're not, I'm sorry. I missed it. Good. All right, man. Well, get out of here. Go to sleep. I'm sorry that you have to go back to work. So sorry. Actually, I should probably kill the stream before too much longer. I need to get some food. Though I feel so unproductive with all this. So frustrating. Oh well. Hey, I've been messaging in the Discord, yeah, or at least in the our the Immortals chat. It's been, and I know I'm the only one to blame. I've been absent for years now, so I can't say anything. But yeah, I'm gonna be more active. Hope to see you, man. Hmm. Yeah, don't get me started on that, man. The past month at work has been brutal. That's actually why I started this entire game. I needed some creative application of code. Ugh. Yeah, it's been rough. That wasn't so bad. Oh, okay. My family's back. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this stream now. Sorry, this was not what I planned. I hoped I would work on the actual game, not just refactor my code base. So sorry about that. I'll try to be more confident um, in what I think I'm able to do before I do it next time. Anyway, um, thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'll see y'all on Discord and over on the MarblePhysics stream. Bye. I'll still hang out and chat for a few seconds if anybody's here. But